Well, good morning, Roswell community. I pray that you're well and that you're working through all the adjustments that we've been thrown into at work, at home, and with schooling and groceries and health precautions. That's kind of where we've been the last 2 weeks, right? We've all been trying to pretty much adjust, and I think that's both normal and fitting. But I think if you're like me, there's a risk, and I think the risk is for me to get stuck in a perpetual season of adjustment, like a long snow day when I try to just hold my breath and honestly might miss out on the opportunity to invest in these days. So what I'm inviting you is to join me in this next week to move from adjustment to investment. If you think about it, we're in this season of Lent, right? But in some ways, it's like there's been a national Lent season that's come upon us where we get to make room for God because God is making room for us and for himself in the midst of all this disruption. And we've been focusing for a year now on like focusing our hearts on hearing and responding to God. And so right now, I'm just wanting to, and this is the question I'm asking myself, is what does God have for me to invest in during these disruptive days? And maybe that's the question I have for you, is what does God have for you to be investing in during these disruptive days? Maybe it's investing in your family. Maybe being sequestered is actually giving you a chance to do some work there, or some repair on your marriage, maybe to invest there. Maybe it's an opportunity for you to invest in your mind, to learn or to develop. Maybe you need to invest in your work right now, or maybe you need to invest in resting. Or generally, maybe you just need to invest in your health, whether that's physical, spiritual, or financial health. I know this. The only real way to truly invest is to create and establish new rhythms, right? That's pretty much the only way. And I guess that's my call for each of us. Let's not waste these days. Like, let's invest them. Because that on the other side of this quarantine, that there would be more to us, that there would be more in us. Because what I'm convinced is that we can be freer, we can be more connected to family and to neighbor, more robust in our character, more compassionate towards people, because we listened to God and then we responded by investing these days, and we didn't just survive them. So I'm inviting you to join me in creating some new rhythms, and I wanted to let you know that as a church, we're trying to create some new rhythms too. And what that looks like in particular for us is on Mondays, I'm going to be putting out there just one curated perspective piece, an article or a video to just help strengthen our spirits, maybe challenge or encourage our hearts as we move into a new week. That'll happen every single Monday right around noon. Then on Tuesdays, one of the things we're going to start doing starting this coming Tuesday is at 8 p.m., we're going to have an interactive webinar on Zoom on a practical matter that's we're all affected by, or that's in some ways we're surrounded by to some degree or another. Now, we'll be kicking that off this Tuesday with a panel of financial planners from RCC. And the simple purpose is to provide some perspective and to answer your questions. And our goal is to have these webinars be oriented towards just practical insights within a gospel framework, which means that we're trying to design them to be an ideal environment for you to honestly invite neighbor or friends or a family member to not just watch, but maybe even participate in. So this is practical perspectives on real issues for the whole person. It's both help and hope. So that's Tuesday night. So look for it this coming Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Then on Wednesdays, in addition to the youth gathering on Zoom on that evening, each Wednesday at 10 a.m., we're doing a kids worship and activities live stream. We had it for the first time yesterday. We had great feedback. So make sure you tune in, families with kids, at 10 a.m. on Wednesdays. Get ready for the activities. It's a really special time. And then Thursdays, like today, you'll hear from me, kind of updating you on where we are and a little bit of where we're heading. And of course, on Sundays, we'll gather online for worship at 10 a.m. on our website, on Facebook, and now even on YouTube. So tune in, and then we'll be rebroadcasting at 11:15 a.m. as well. But there's one kind of corporate collective rhythm, one corporate engagement that I'd like to encourage or challenge us with right now, and that is the idea of prayer walking our neighborhoods. Let's put some prayer mileage in together. Everyone's at home, right? Everyone's at home. So go for a walk, and maybe it's in the afternoon, or maybe it's like before dinner or after dinner, and pray for your neighbors. Pray for those you know, and pray for those you don't know. Honestly, ask God for some divine appointments. And as you pass folks, like, greet them. And if someone's in their driveway or their front yard, like, introduce yourself. Check in on them. Ask them maybe how they're handling the quarantine. We talked about being curious just a couple months ago. So be curious. Find out maybe what's the hardest thing that they're dealing with, and maybe what's the best part of this quarantine. Ask about their family. Maybe find out if someone they know is affected directly. And if it's fitting, and if you're willing, take the risk by telling them that, hey, you'll pray for those things and maybe pray for them. So this quarantine, I believe, is maybe one of the means that God might be using to open up your neighbors or even your neighborhood for the gospel, and we just don't want to miss it. So, people of Roswell, as we adjust, I simply want to remind each of us that God is not only on the throne, and he unwaveringly is, right? Ruling and reigning, and all shall be well. But God is also still on the move, and his mission of transforming us into, as disciples and making disciples has not changed. And so our mission hasn't changed either. So loved ones, stay connected, and let's continue to listen to God and to look for him together. And if you're discouraged, if you need prayer or if you need help, please reach out to us, contact us on the app or on Facebook Connect or at elders@roswellchurch.org. We're committed to walking through this time together, even when we have to be apart. So you're loved. I'll see you on Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Have a great weekend.